Birbal's wit. Birbal was a very wise and witty man. He was one of the 9 gems in the court of Emperor Akbar. As the emperor loved him the most, the other courtiers were jealous of him and constantly tried to find some way to degrade him. One day, the court barber, who was very jealous of Birbal, plotted a plan against him. He got an opportunity when the king called him to trim his hair. He said, "Sir, last night I dreamt about your father." The king got interested. He asked eagerly, "What did he say to you?" "Sir, he told me that everything is good in paradise, but he feels the absence of a good humorous man who can amuse him." The king thought and thought, but he could think of none other than Birbal who could perform such a duty. But the only way to go to heaven was through death. For a moment, Akbar was very sad to lose his favorite man, but thinking of his father, he made up his mind. He summoned Birbal and said, "My dear Birbal, I know you love me very much, and you would do anything for me." Birbal wondered what was playing in the emperor's mind. He said, "You know, Your Majesty, I sure do." "Then, Birbal, please go to heaven to give company to my dear father," said the emperor. Birbal understood that this was an evil plan worked out by somebody to get rid of him. He said to the emperor politely, "It will be my supreme pleasure to do so, but I need a few days to prepare myself to go to heaven." The king said, "Certainly you are doing me such a great favor. I allow you 1 week's time to prepare yourself." Birbal sat in calm and thought. Somebody had planned very well, and he couldn't see an escape from this plan. He thought and thought, and then he found a way out. Birbal dug a ditch near his house, and a tunnel from it leading inside his house. After doing this, he returned to the imperial court. He said, "I'm ready to leave, Your Majesty, but there are 2 conditions." Akbar was so happy to hear this that he didn't spare a thought about the fact that Birbal could put some odd conditions before him. He eagerly asked, "What are those conditions? Tell me soon. I shall fulfill them instantly so that you can go to heaven as soon as possible to be with my dear father." Birbal said, "Your Majesty, I wish to be buried near my house. Secondly, I want to be buried alive so that I can reach heaven alive to amuse your dear father." The king found this quite logical and agreed upon it immediately. So, Birbal was buried alive near his house. Using the tunnel, he made his way into his house, where he lived in confinement for 6 months. After 6 months, he came out of his hiding with a grown beard and shabby hair, and sought the emperor's permission to appear in the emperor's court. Looking at him, Akbar cried, "Where have you been, Birbal?" Birbal said, "Your Majesty, I was where you had sent me, in heaven, with your dear father. I had a very good time there with him. He was so happy with my jokes that he gave me special permission to return to earth." Akbar was very anxious to know about his father. He asked, "Has he sent any message for me?" Birbal said, "Yes, Your Majesty. He said that very few barbers can make it to heaven. You can make this out from my grown beard and shabby hair. So he asked me to send your own barber to him immediately." Akbar was speechless for a while before the reality dawned to him. He understood the whole plan created by the barber to eliminate Birbal. He gave Birbal a special prize as commendation of his wit, and his barber a severe punishment for plotting to kill Birbal.